Hey, pro athletes! Ready to dominate your finances and secure your future? Choose Oak Bridge Wealth Management, led by wealth manager Chris Anicetti, your ultimate financial planning partner. We tackle your unique financial challenges with a tailored, comprehensive approach. Join top NFL players and experience the Oak Bridge difference. Just ask the Miami Dolphins' Alec Ingold. He says the systems and personal service my family received have been outstanding. Ready to take the next step? Connect with Chris on Instagram at oakbridgewm_Anicetti. That's oakbridgewm_ANICETE. And become the champion of your financial destiny. Welcome back to the Believe in Badgers podcast on the Believe Podcast Network, presented by betonline.ag. Once again, I'm Matt Perkins, joined, as always, by Badger legend, the Hebrew Hammer himself, Matt Bernstein. Bernie, how are we doing today?
Dude, once again, man, every day's a holiday. I feel like we've had such a good time talking with the other half of the Vibez crew. I'm super excited to hear from this crew. We've been chopping up a little bit. I haven't stopped laughing pretty much the whole time. I hear we have the top rated golfer, and I feel like we have a bunch of people who are trying to get up there. That's at least what Melvin and Dare and Noe might have said.
We got a star system out here.
Okay, yeah. So we got a star system. Go ahead and introduce them. We've got the Darius Feaster, Darius Hillary, and Tanner McEvoy. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here for part 3 of our 4-part special with Vibez Golf Club. We are honored to be able to be here with you guys and chop it up tonight.
Appreciate you guys for having us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure being here. It's going to be fun. So let's definitely get into it.
Before we get into anything, I want to remind you guys that we are presented by betonline.ag, where they remain your number one source for all of your online sports wagering needs. You name it, they've got it over there at BetOnline. NBA playoffs in full swing, as are the NHL playoffs. Always some good UFC, boxing, baseball. I mean, casino games, card games. It's all over there at betonline.ag. So head on over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit with our promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV. Bet online, where the game starts.
Not only great Badgers, but great people doing great things, changing, I think, potentially the world on how people view golf, right? Like, we all grew up different places in this world as we were making fun of each other prior about where we were growing up and who knew where Wisconsin was and all these things. We all ended up in Wisconsin. How did you guys come together as a group while you were there? And then I have a follow-up to that, but let's start about that. Like, how did you guys come together? How did you mess? I'll start with Tanner.
All right, so I was a little different because I transferred in. So I was kind of like the new kid in the grade that showed up D-Hill's sophomore year. So we showed up. Feast was, I don't know if you were on the team for that summer or not, but I met Feast outside of football just because we just had a lot of mutual friends. And man, I mean, it's like when you get to a new school, man, you just kind of keep to yourself and you start to crack some jokes and start figuring out who's who. And next thing you know, you're hanging out with a group of guys that you're supposed to be like hanging out with because we had a lot in common. And that's kind of how I kind of got integrated into it.
You want to go next?
It's all you, Darius one.
Oh man. Well, so for myself, like a lot of the guys that we've been working with, we all came in together, class of 2011. And once I got up there, again, just like Tanner said, we start cracking jokes with each other, saying, the who's, like just getting a chance to know each other. And and grinding together. Like that was a huge thing for us. We went through something together, not only academically, but athletically. And we essentially became men together. It's first time being away from home. You're learning who you are as a person. So to be able to do that with this group of guys, it was huge for us. It was huge. And I think that's why we have such a strong bond now.
Yeah, I can kind of jump off of their points. I think I'm the oldest out of the group, if I'm not mistaken. But I think I'm a year ahead of D Hill. But no, I got to know the guys through through football. That's our main connection. But outside of that, just seeing guys in classes and seeing Tanner at the KK. Other than that,
No.
But no.
The KK is the name of a library.
Yeah, the KK, having to see KK.
I've been there 1,000 times too. Yeah, I love the books there.
Tanner, he was always in the books, man. So
Great chicken fingers over there too.
Fantastic, excellent ranch.
Actually, the chicken fingers are delicious.
Excellent ranch.
I heard.
But I've definitely socialized with these guys, and a lot of them, they're like my brothers at the end of the day. So. Got to know them as men, obviously as football players, but they're all great human beings, and I couldn't be, any more honored to be with the team. So, yeah, that's pretty much that was all 12, 10, 15, I don't know how many years ago. It was back in the day. So,
man,
yeah.
Look, hey, we're getting up there, boys. Yeah. We were getting up there.
Yeah, I had here.
Hey, listen, Melvin said he's almost 30, so I would assume most of you guys are either 30 or gonna be 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be 30 in a little less than a month now. Yep,
like 2 months into
it. Melvin and I we're about a week apart in age. So yeah,
well,
hitting that 30 piece.
I'm 31. I feel good, man.
I know your low back is tight.
My low back, hey, all them lifts, all them extra.
Listen, we're going to get into that. Don't worry. There's nothing better than those extra lifts and those all that stuff. Yeah. So I got to ask. Everyone has said that Darius. Wait, D1 or D Hill? Because I love D1. If that's what it is.
So I mean, he was just saying D1 for now, but everybody in college called me D Hill.
Yeah. I kind of love D1 though. That I don't know. That just D Hill. I get it.
Hey, D1.
D1. So like Darius Feaster. Everyone said you're the best golfer.
And they call me
out
Feast.
Of the group.
They call me Feast, by the way. Feast.
Yeah, Feast the Beast.
Mr. Feast.
Yeah. Feast the Beast. You gotta add all that extra. Just Feast.
You know what? We all have weird nicknames. Don't worry. Feast. This is a golf company.
Correct.
When, and guys, well, I'll ask you this next, but when do you pick up a club? What's your first experience like?
For me, I learned the game of golf when I was in high school. Didn't really play it much, but I saw I went to Homestead High School. It's in a small town called Mequon, Wisconsin. It's not that small of a town, but I guess they had a country club across the street from me. And they said caddies, we're paying, pretty much $10 an hour, which, hey man, in Wisconsin in the day, like $10 an hour, what, man, come on now, like sign me up. Yeah. I went over there and I was caddying, pretty much carrying a bag, and it'd be like 40, like anywhere from $40 to $50 around. You just carry a bag around the golf course for that amount of time, and just, go fetch their balls and all that kind of stuff. And, that's my first true experience with golf. It wasn't anything crazy. I didn't really care for the game. I thought it was pretty, it wasn't anything that was fun to me. So I was I'm here for the money. That's pretty much it. if we're being real, pay me and I'll leave. That's pretty much it. So. Yeah.
But were you reading the greens? Were you helping golfers out with shots and telling them what to do?
I mean, after a while, my first few times, man, I'm carrying the bag, dropping clubs, trying to keep up, and they're looking at me like, "Who hired? Who are you?" But it was I learned it over time, the etiquette, and I'm out here, I'm trying to give them advice on stuff, and They'll ask for hey, give me my 4-iron. I'll be like, I don't think you're gonna clear that tree. You might need something with a little more loft. and I only give advice after I've seen him play like 3, 4, 5 holes, and I'll be like, I know your game, and like you not like that, so you need this. You're not him. Like you need to go back. Like I'm gonna give you 4-iron, but just know you probably should have took the 8. And every time, that's how you gain trust, or whatever. And then they'll hit the ball in the woods, and they'll be like, "Oh man, I should have listened to you." And I'm like, "Yeah, you should have." Like, but anyways, yeah, that's how I learned the game, man. That's the first time really for me picking up a club. So,
did you like it though? Was it exciting for you when you played?
I'm here to get paid.
So no.
No, I didn't.
Touché,
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really like it. I thought it was boring. But there was no other job that was that easy for me. I mean, unless I'm going to like landscaping or something like that. I was like, nah. Like I can just carry this bag and just watch these old dudes just joke about like crazy stuff on their court. I'm not even gonna mention the stuff they was talking about, but like I can just listen to that the whole time. Like perfect. That sounds good to me. And yeah. And again, they pay me in cash, no taxes. Come on, now I'm straight.
Don't IRS. Hopefully you're not listening. Darius, so go for it. Your first time picking up a club.
First time picking up a club. It's a little bit of a funny story, but growing up, I always used to see my dad playing golf. He came from the football world too, played in the NFL as well, and after he had gotten done, that was just a sport that he had indulged in. And I remember I was 14, and at the time, you're not old enough to drive yet, but you want to still feel like you could, drive something. So one of the days he asked me if I wanted to go to a golf outing with him. I'm like, yeah, like why not? I get to drive the cart around. So I'm hanging out, driving the cart around with him. Like he's talking with his buddies, doing everything that you would do on a golf course. And we get to the last hole, and he's like, man, you've been out here all day and you haven't tried to swing like at all. I'm like, yeah, like I'll leave that to you guys. Like I'm not really that excited about it because I was more, into football, basketball, track, like things that were just a lot faster. So he finally convinced me to get out of the cart, and he's like, here, take my driver, and just swing, like hit a ball. So I go back to swing and drive through, and ended up smacking and smashing my dad's driver head.
Ooh.
Right in the ground. Broke it.
Oh.
So that was my first experience with golf. And I remember the reaction on my dad's face. Like initially he laughed. And then after, he was like, man, do you know how much this cost? He went off. He went off. And I'm like, well, Dad, like you just told me to swing. And, I thought I was playing baseball. So didn't work. Didn't work out. And it's crazy. That was the last time, the next time that I picked up a golf club was when I was, 28. It had me mortified. It had me mortified for a second. I was so afraid. But yes, that was my first experience with golf. Funny, but kind of messed up at the same time.
You know what? I feel like this is exactly why Vibez Golf Club needs to be here. Because that gap between you were 14 when you broke your dad's driver to 28.
Man.
And now you love it, right?
And it's fun. I'm still trying to get better, as we all are, but from where I started to where I am now, at least I've gotten 1% better. I will say that. But I'm learning from good guys like Tanner and Feaster. They're really good golfers, and we always share videos and whatnot and see how everybody's hitting them, and they're pretty consistent. So getting a chance to learn from these two is actually a blessing.
Well, that's great. Tanner, first time?
First time. Well, it's actually funny, D Hill. If this thing ever blows up, this whole Vibez Golf Club, you should go first full circle and get your dad like the nicest golf driver.
That's a fact.
And then have that story, and it'll be perfect. But my first time was similar to Feast. I remember I was like in like 6th or 7th grade or something. And my dad was playing golf a lot, but I was kind of just like a kid playing like basketball and like running around playing normal sports. And I saw how much my brother was making caddying. He was doing like 2 bags on the weekend. He was there at 5 a.m., like out by 1, walking out with hundreds of dollars in cash. I'm like, dude, if I get $100, I'm good till winter. And then I can just shovel a few driveways. I'm good for the year. That's all I do right there.
I'm telling you.
So you don't need much when you're a kid, man. I just need to go to like 7-Eleven and get a Reese's, man. I'm good.
I used to get 20.
Right.
Yeah,
20 thinking I was on top of the world.
Man.
Yeah. So that's how it kind of started with me. I just started caddying, and I did it like probably a handful of times that summer, and then just kind of like other sports kind of just engulfed my schedule. And it was kind of hard to get to a course for me. Like I had to drive like 40 minutes to like the country club that I would have to play at or something. But, like it's a lot of steps to play golf, and I mean I think part of what Vibez is trying to do is just try to make it a little more easier. So I think that was a little bit of why I kind of stopped for a lot of years. I played it a little bit. My dad kind of taught me the ropes, taught me that I caddy, and then once I hit like 8th grade and started taking football kind of seriously and basketball and baseball, through high school and college, I probably played like one time every like 3 or 4 years, like literally just once, not even like going to the range or anything. And like, if you're only playing that amount of times, you're not getting any better or maintaining any skills. So then COVID hit, and I feel like this golf world is just blown up ever since the pandemic, and that's when I started playing again. And then Vibez started, and it just kind of all accumulated to where we're kind of at now. So, and I still suck. Like D Hill's giving me great, just hilarious, but I'm better in the group. I don't know if you bring like the normal golf society, you would consider me one of the better ones.
Tanner, you're good, bro. Tanner beat me last time we played.
Tanner's solid.
My goal is to just not embarrass myself, and that's really it. Like as long as I'm not like hitting the ball into the woods every 2 seconds or chunking the ground out, like just maintaining just some good hits, some good vibes, and that's kind of where my mindset's at.
Well, let's talk about those vibes, like you said, Tanner, because I think my favorite question I've asked all the guys so far, I'm going to continue to ask you guys, is if someone sees you walking down the street, Tanner, I'll start with you, wearing that shirt, that Vibez Golf Club shirt, and they say, "What the heck is Vibez Golf Clubs?" What does Vibez mean to you?
Yeah, it's a tough question to answer. I mean, for me, Vibez is just well, one, it's like when I want to play golf, like I want it to, like I don't want to be self-conscious about what I should be wearing, how I'm hitting the ball, and how people are perceiving me playing. I just want it to be a fun time that I can go out there for a few hours and escape whatever reality is going on in my real life, and I can just go out there with some of my boys or girls and have a good time playing golf and not have like to worry about if I have to have my shirt tucked in or if I'm hitting the ball into the woods one too many times and people are getting frustrated with it. So that's kind of my mindset. And what Vibez is kind of just that, like a group of kind of like-minded individuals all kind of wanting that same kind of goal, I think. So that's kind of my mindset on it. I can keep going. Do you want me to?
No, how about you? How about you, Feaster?
I was going to say, for me, I think Tanner kind of nailed it. I think it's about inclusivity, and I just think opening up the game to making it more, I don't know, I guess approachable for and less intimidating for people to join. I think to Darius's his earlier point, it's like we all grew up playing like stuff that was way more fun, I guess. I still think golf is fun. Now I think it's more fun, but like basketball, football, baseball, like soccer, I don't care. It's more interactive, right? There's more stuff going on. Not say soccer is bad or anything like that, but yeah, no. I'm just used to playing things that are more fun, interactive, not as slow of a pace. But all that being said, I think most people, if they were to look at, us as individuals, they wouldn't really assume that we golfed. All right. But I think it's our job and our mission really to kind of expand the game and make it be like, I don't know, just more something that's more enticing for the average person to play. I think golf is in itself very intimidating and very traditional. Hasn't been very inclusive, obviously, over the past since the game has started. And the fact that you have, I love seeing, like, I'm not gonna lie, the one thing that keeps me going is like I'll show up every now and again with, like, it'll be me or just me and a buddy or whatever, and they'll match us up with like some random pair that they got all the golf clothes on and all the nicest clubs and this that, and the other, and like Tanner D Hill know me, man. I got a raggedy set of clubs. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, my golf gear is trash. Like ultimately trash. Like, I don't know if it's just cheap or if I just don't care or whatever, but I'll pick up my sticks or whatever and I'll tee off, and man, it's my goal to beat the crap out of whoever I'm playing. And it's just funny at the end of the first 3 or 4 holes, like, dang, like this guy actually can play. Not only can he play, like, oh man, he's beating me. And I love that feeling. It's something about just like, but I'm also a competitor. I think we're all competitors, and it's just, yeah, like I like say I can't, and I will. That's how it goes. So I'll pass it on.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I'd say for myself, snap.
Sometimes Perko's a little bit behind.
No, you're good. No, I was muted
like
again because I'm still used to being muted in all my meetings. So no, I was just gonna say D Hill. Vibes to you. What does it mean?
Yeah, like for me, I think both guys kind of hit the nail on the head. But it's about being authentically and unapologetically yourself. I think for a lot of us, there is an intimidation factor that had come in the past with playing on the golf course because it wasn't or isn't diverse. That's something that we're bringing to the forefront. And when it comes to wearing certain things on the golf course, we want people to feel comfortable, like they belong out there, like they can come out here and do it. Just for myself, in my experience, I always saw just the collared shirt, tucked in, the shorts or the pants with the golf shoes and the hat, and everybody's just quiet, just playing the game. And it didn't really seem fun. It really didn't seem, as fun, especially, growing up, because again, was used to something different, always, being on the go, being on the move. But with what we're doing, we're trying to make the game more attractive and more approachable. And for us, the main thing that we've been doing is like showing the game, not only like the good, the bad, but we're showing, everything and making it, look fun. And when you get out there with, a certain group of guys, it can be that. And that's what, Vibez is for us.
So something that I'm hearing and something that I love is that it's not really the legitimately being good at the sport. I'm not going to speak for everyone. I love basketball. I am not that good at basketball. But I love playing. Literally, you can show up, you can wear pants, you can wear jeans, you could wear shorts, you could wear dress shoes. Like, no one's going to judge you, really. The golf game is not like that, right? Like, the golf game is you literally have to wear tucked in. Now, some people like it. I don't hate it. I don't know, for some reason, like, I kind of like wearing a tucked in shirt. But that's my vibe, right? Like, that's not everyone's vibe. I play with dudes who are like in we can't say these terms anywhere, but in like jerseys. What's it called when you wear something underneath and I don't know. What's the white shirt that is tight?
The beater?
It's not the beater, just the beater. I'm trying to figure out like a nice way to say it.
Yeah, no, it's called the white beater. I'll take that. we don't condone that here, but just saying.
It is. We don't condone it, but it is particularly called the white beater. And I find that, like, what you guys are saying is it doesn't matter what you're wearing. It's more of just the vibe and being out there and being excited. Yeah. Is it more the game, or is it more like just the way you go about being yourselves? And Feast, I'll talk to you first because you're shaking your
I
head.
don't think it's the game. I mean, like I said, I'm not here to dog golf. Golf is a great game, but I think that it's about being around the fellas and not having to conform to what society has made it seem what golf has to be, right? I mean, like I said, I show up with raggedy clubs. I wear whatever to a golf course. Like, I really don't care. As long as it's, obviously I don't want to disrespect the game and wear something that's just completely not allowed. But the fact that I can't, like, I want to wear a bucket hat or sweats or whatever I'm comfortable wearing, right? I shouldn't have to feel the need to have a tucked in shirt. You said that you wear jeans during basketball. I'm not gonna lie. Don't do that ever again.
I don't really do that too, but I'm sure people do.
Don't think I didn't hear that. I heard that. Stop that.
Man,
And that's coming from me, right?
hey, look, the only way it'd be acceptable is if you were out there just giving
them buckets. That's what's going on.
Buckets.
I mean, what's it
Bernie
could
turns
be?
into the
Who knows?
professor in
But,
jeans.
nah, man. I think. Right. All right. Why you talking about
the
here?
professor in jeans.
But I think Darius brought up a good point. D Hill brought up a good point. He said that, like, I think the whole, like, the etiquette piece, like with like golf clapping and like that kind of stuff. It's just such a quiet, like, square game. Or if you think of like how we play, and this is not disrespecting the game, but it's like if one of us hits a good shot, I'm screaming.
Works.
I'm excited. I'm happy, and I'm gonna let you know, right? Whereas like in normal, traditional golf way, you're supposed to be like doing all that, and like ain't nobody trying to do all that. Like, let me turn my music up. You know what I'm saying? And, like that's how it should be.
Yeah.
It's out there. It's supposed to have a good time. Like I don't know. I'm not necessarily advocating drinking or anything like that, but I mean, go out there and relax, have a good time. Like, I mean,
yeah, like the atmosphere should be fun.
You're right.
It should be, you getting a chance to be out there with your homies or your homegirls, and y'all just being able to go out there, talk a little trash, drink, hit a few, and just enjoy each other's company.
Right.
Because, I mean, what other sport do you know that you can go out there for 4+ hours, drink, hit some balls, and talk? Like, there are no other sports that have that same, format to them. So for us, we want to make it fun. If we're going to be out there, let's have some fun. Let's get excited about things.
Right.
Let's compete.
There ain't gonna be much competing going on. Them balls going here, there. I'm like, whatever, man.
Right.
Where the golf cart? Where the cart girl at?
Tanner, your thoughts on that at all?
Yeah, I mean, these guys kind of knocked it out of the park. It's a game that's definitely changing, and I mean, if you could see it with how. Like ESPN or whoever's throwing these like professional, like having like Brady versus Rodgers or like the Mickelson and whoever playing against Tiger Woods and whatever those matches were, you could just see like how like the game is just evolving. And if like you don't see it, then you're just kind of living in the past. And this generation coming up, us, like we're like the game is going to change. Like we're going to be out there like playing some music or talking like when you're putting or like just like weird little intricate like traditional rules of golf that just I feel like are going to start getting pushed out a little bit. I mean, everyone's going to still respect the game and like still like do a lot of the things that have been going on for years because that's what the game is. But like wear sweats, put on like the cool new Jordans or whatever they got out now. It's like even like the swag, like there's all these new companies that are just blossoming up like every single day. Like I'll see like a new like Instagram ad of like some like really dope like shirts or like whatever it is. So I mean that's kind of my thoughts on it. Yeah.
No, Tanner, you bring up a lot of good points. When you go on like Nike.com to buy golf shoes, they're all Jordans almost, which I think is now morphing a little bit or bleeding into like that basketball culture, which is so great. And then you watch, was it the Pro-Am Matt Perkins with Patrick Mahomes just chugging Coors Lights?
Yep.
Yeah. Mahomes
That guy looked like he was getting hurt during like this major golf outing, which I was so excited about because to me, golf is not you guys can compete and I'm happy for you. I'm happy if I don't lose a ball or if I shoot in like the 90s. But if I can drink like 5 or 6 beers and just chill with my guys, that's golf for me. Like that makes me the 4 hours of just having it, enjoying it.
Right.
So I think you're right. Golf is evolving and it's changing. And with all these different ways we're looking and viewing it, it is really taking off. But my thought is like, and I want to transition for a second, but like, how cool is it that like you guys are in this company that literally at this moment in time can blast golf off into like the atmosphere for the masses, like the kids who never thought golf was even a thought. Even the people who are like, I love golf, but I don't feel comfortable. Like you guys are really taking it in a pivotal time to a place where, man, like, I don't know, you're at the cutting edge is, I guess, the tip of the spear of like what golf can be. How great is that for each one of you? Tanner, I'll start with you just because I want to go backwards.
I mean, like, like I said, like the game is changing and it's like, we got lucky enough to be at like this age and point of our lives where we could, because what you got to show the kids too is like guys like us and like guys who dress like us and guys who were playing other sports and are other athletes and have a lot of stuff going on can still go out there and play like this, what some kids probably grow up looking at as kind of like this traditional, even me like growing up, like I didn't like, I'm even now, like I'm not really watching like like I'll watch every now on Sunday, but like I'm not watching like Thursday and Friday and Saturday and see who's making the cut. And like, I'm not like that hardcore into it, but I love the game. So now I'm like, there's a serious golf bug and it happens to a lot of people for a reason. Like it's a fun game. And once you start hitting like a few good shots, you're like, oh shit, I hit a good shot. Maybe I can do it again. And like, that's kind of what hooks you in. And it's just awesome that we, with the whole thing happening, with golf blossoming, and like all of us being all such good friends, and all of us kind of being almost at the same level. Like some of us are like a little better, but like we're all, like you said, just trying not to lose a ball and keep it under 100. So it's good timing, man, and I'm excited to see kind of where this ends up. You know.
D Hill, you were excited. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Oh no, you good. You're good, man. But no, I just think like it is amazing, and to Tanner's point, you know, having a group of guys that have come from all different types of backgrounds, you know, I think for like the market for a lot of people that we have been targeting and seeing like responses from, like they can relate to that. Like the relatability factor is huge. You know. Having kids who only thought that football, basketball, whatever were their only outlets, to see these football guys going out here and having a good time playing golf, you know, that's something for them to see, to where they're like, man, if they can do it, then why don't I come out here and try it? So I've had a bunch of kids come up to me and say, man, like, I love what you guys are doing. Like your videos are hilarious. You guys are, you know, having fun with the game of golf. Some of you guys, it looks like you suck, but you're having fun with the game of golf. If I see somebody on camera with a shot, bam, why can't I go out here and do that? But again, like that one good shot also reinforces that, yeah, you can come out there and play. And for me, I think it's just amazing to see.
Yeah, I agree with D Hill. I think it's just it is a fun game. It depends on who you're playing with also too. Like, you know, I think it's like if any of these guys would have called me up to play, I'll do it anytime. But like there's some of my friends that take it a little too seriously, and it's like, guys, I don't. Like I really don't. It's just a fun game for me to play, and it's something to do. And I actually, when I do link in golf with people, it's more so like because I want to talk to them, or I want to, you know, figure out what's going on in their life and catch up. But no, I mean, I think we're in a great point. It's a very critical junction right now with golf, and I think they like to use the terminology of like urbanizing, you know, what golf could be. And I don't even think it's that. It's more so just making the game more accessible and inclusive, and having more demand and eyes on the game. Just because right now there's only a certain niche and certain group of people that are looking and thinking that golf is something that they can actually partake in. And I think it's something that we want to obviously break that mold. And I mean, also another point is more so like when I think about things that I can do competitively, you know, at my age going forward, like I'm not going to be in LA Fitness or the local gym, playing basketball. Like I'm old, man. I not old, but like I just need too many injuries and stuff, man. I'm not gonna be out here trying to play these flag football leagues, pulling hamstrings and all that extra stuff. But no, I'm cool, man. Pickleball, tennis, swimming, that type of stuff, low impact. I got you, but no, I'm not. I got to find something to compete in. I think golf is a fun way to compete with your boys. So that's that.
All right. Well, before we head over to talking about football, I want to finish off by we're gonna do a little segment as I call it, describe your vibe. And so I'm gonna ask D Hill to go here first. D Hill, describe your vibe.
Describe my vibe. I'd say, on the course, I'm more so chill when it comes to like actually playing the game, and like I get excited, to see myself and other people hit good shots. Shoot, when I'm with Feast, that's when I think we turn up the most. So like with other guys, yes, I do enjoy it, but I think between him and I, we bring out the most energy with each other. Outside of that, like, yeah, it's just fun to be out there with your boys, get around in 4+ hours, be able to drink, talk how you want to talk, listen to music. So that's more of my vibe.
Feast, describe your vibe.
My vibe, man, I'm definitely a ball of energy. I can be animated. I would say at times, but really, I'm always animated. So let's just be real. Nah, man, I really enjoy just being around the fellas. And backstory, I won't get into it now, but they invited me to be a part of this. So I'm really just honored and privileged to be doing this. And I'm like I said, I love the game. I don't take it too seriously, but I happen to be decent because I've been around the game for a long amount of time. But honestly, I'm out there to have a good time. Like if there's not music or liquor involved, you're gonna have a hard time getting me out there. I'm just being real. So,
you are preaching to the right people here. Right?
We are not on the PGA Tour, so let's not try to act like it. All right, it's like, give me my speaker. If you got a pregame, whatever you got to do, just make sure there's an active, beverage cart service or something like that, and we'll play.
Wait, Feast, you bring up a great point. How mad do you get when you go to a course and they don't have a bev cart girl?
That's one of the
or bev cart person. Sorry.
Well, no, you said it right. I'm playing. Nah, it is frustrating. I'm not gonna lie, because it's like this is like the one main thing that some people I would come out there for, but I don't know, man. I can't do it. I don't take the game that, like I said, I don't take the game that seriously. I'm at least say I'm decent at it, but at the end of the day, like that's not the reason why I'm out. I'm not looking to get better, if that makes sense. If I was looking to get better, I'd probably approach the sport differently. Probably like Tanner. Like I don't know. Like I said, I'm just there to have a good time with the fellas, and I've had a lot of good times on the golf course, man. And I like fooling around, like, hitting, one-handed shots and doing all that kind of stuff that, I don't know. I just like fooling around on the golf course. It's fun. So,
Tanner, your vibe?
Yeah, similar to Feast, minus like the animations. I would say I'm not like out there like dancing and stuff, but I'm definitely like keeping like the positive vibe going. Like if I'm ever playing with someone who's like getting angry, like I am quick to be like, dude, look around, like who gives a shit? like literally, like this sport is fucking hard for a reason. Am I allowed to curse? I don't know. I cursed anyway.
Yeah, you for sure you're allowed to.
Okay, cool.
We had an outside linebacker from my years, Dantes Sanders. He had 45 curses.
48.
Matt Perkins. My mother-in-law called me and was like, "Hey, I love the podcast, but your friend cursed a lot." And I was like, "That's my friend. That's his vibe. I don't know what he's doing. This dude curses a lot."
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, he paved the way for us. So,
Dan, I don't think you could do 45 curses if you really wanted to.
I'd have to try. I'd have to really try. No, I'm very chill out there. I mean, Feast gets mad at me sometimes because I don't warm up. I don't take a practice swing. I walk up, I hit the ball, and then I keep it going. Like I'm more like a speed golfer kind of guy, and I do enjoy the drinks, and I do enjoy some smoking, and I do enjoy some music playing, and that's kind of just where I'm at. I like getting a little dressed up. I mean, these guys get mad every now and then when I pop on my collared shirt, but if it's got some cool graphics on it.
It's got some cool graphics on it. I don't know.
That's your vibe, man.
That's the vibe, man.
That's your vibe.
You don't have
bro.
to do it if you don't want.
That's what your vibe is.
Yeah,
Tanner is the fastest golfer I've ever played with. I'm like, bro, he'll hit, bro. I kid you not. He did this. It was pissing me off a little. I was like, bro, and we were competing, and I was just more so like, he hit a drive like probably 310, 320 down the middle. And, we pull up to the ball, whatever, and then probably about maybe 80 or 90 yards left. Actually, wasn't even that, like maybe 70 yards left. And we pull up to the car, like, I reach over, I text, whatever, and he's, like, walking up to the ball. Didn't even practice swing, just walk. I'm like, bro, like.
Smack.
I'm like, take your time.
And I'm like,
I'm like, you can take your time. There's no rush. There's nobody in front of us, nobody behind us. I'm like, bro, like, do you have something to do after this, I guess?
Look, hey, he's locked in.
Yeah.
He's locked in.
the more I think about it, the worse I get. I start thinking about how to fix things. And I'm like, you know what?
I guess.
Just grip it and rip it.
It's so funny to see. I'm like, yo, slow down.
Man, whoa there.
Nah.
Man, I bet you guys would be a blast to play with.
Man, you have no idea.
I'm just laughing hysterically, sitting here listening to you guys talking. I could do this for 4 hours.
It's constant shit talking. I will say that.
Yeah, we're not talking about that part yet. We really.
No, we're not even there yet, which is even better.
Not even there yet.
You gotta have
Listen,
some.
I'll tell you guys. I was invited to play golf as a 19. I must have been 19. It was the summer, in between like school and when you had to go back to work out. Mm-hmm. And I've never picked up a golf club in my life. And I was like, my brother's was a year younger. He's like, we're going to play. We need a fourth. You're coming. I'm like, dude, I don't have $40. And I also have no desire to go play golf right now. And he goes, you don't have to play. You can drive the cart and drink the entire time. And I'm like, let me grab my shorts. I'll be there in a second. And then, what's funny is you guys all said it. You pick up the club and you're like, man, I kind of love this. Mm. Now, driving the golf cart and drinking the beer was the best part. And then you're also playing. And then eventually you keep playing. You're like, man, I could do both of these things for 4 hours with my guys or with my dad or with, someone who outside of just showing up randomly with some interesting folks who you will always play with. It's like picking up a game of basketball. You never know who you're going to jump in with. Mm-hmm. But I have one more question because I think we've heard a bunch about the initial presentation of Vibez, right? I think you guys were in Florida. Is that where the initial was? So
before Lauderdale.
This is my last question because I think it's so interesting to hear everyone else's. Some people are like, yeah, it sounded awesome. Some people are like, I don't know about golf. This is kind of weird. You're all sitting in that conference room in Florida. What is it like to hear the presentation No Way has? And what's your initial thought on Vibez? Tanner, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, no, I talked a little bit in Noe before the presentation and stuff, so I kind of had some good ideas of what his thoughts were and where he kind of wanted this to go. And at that time, like I was saying earlier, during this whole COVID pandemic thing, it's it just blew up so much, and it was already blowing up in my life before Vibez. I was like, all right, you know what? I saw what my dad told me years ago, which was you're going to want to get good at this game because that's where you're going to play when you're older. And I told him, yeah, Dad, I'm going to go play that. And now, just turned 30, it's I'm not trying to go out there and pop an Achilles, trying to play some. I want to go out there and still compete and still be able to hang with my buddies. So I knew golf for me was going to be something bigger, or I would definitely be playing it a lot further in my life. And with Noe talking about his vision of it, and you could see it as he kept going, you're he's right. There is this change approaching, and it's we can be like that forefront of just like showing that there are like people like us that dress and act like us kind of thing. And it's like they can go out there and still enjoy this like old traditional game that's now evolving into something that's just like it seems to be more of like a fun social like event. I mean, you can even just see with the Top Golf stuff, like Top Golf like has blown up. And it's like it's not like a normal driving range. Like they're sitting there, they got games, like there's like a bar in there, there's like all these lights and like all like you're like get like a table. It's like a whole ordeal now. So I thought it was an awesome idea. I've always trusted Noah just because he was my roommate for a long time ago. And I've known him, I trust him, and I love hanging with these dudes. It just felt like a great match. So that was my initial thoughts. Yeah.
I love that. Top Golf is like literally sitting in your living room and then taking awesome. 2 steps and swinging a club.
Yeah.
Yeah. You sit back in the living room and eat chicken fingers. Yeah.
Yeah. D Hill, we'll pivot to you.
So like my initial thought, because I had conversations with Noe before as well, and we actually sat on FaceTime for 2 hours just talking about everything. I was in the process actually of applying to grad school and whatnot, just figuring out the next steps in my life. And when he came to me about this idea, he's like, man, we need all the boys. We need all the boys for this. And that was one of his selling points. He's like, look, it's about time that we did something with all the guys that we came around, like grew together with. And I just remember going down, this was not even a week later after we had talked. I think we talked on a Sunday, and then by Friday we were all in Fort Lauderdale getting our first round of golf in. And it was fun. It was exciting. There were a lot of different things, like little side story. My first time hitting again, like my first ball, I think I whiffed 3 times and then finally hit it shank to the left. Shank to the left. But, just being able, to go down there and listen to him and his passion behind what he wanted and what his vision was for this, was huge. And I think one of the coolest things for us is actually changing the game for the better, actually making a change, worldwide, again, this game has always been seen as, if we want to get to it, a whitewash sport, old rich white man sport. And that's something that, we look to change, and we want to do that, for the betterment of everybody. And I think, after talking things through, and while we were meeting in the conference room, people were asking questions. Well, how does this work? How does this work? How does this work? And just being able to, talk through it, I think that helped shape everybody's perception about what Vibez is and how we need to act and move forward accordingly.
I love that. Feast?
Yeah, I had a different route. Originally, it was those 9 guys. They were all together, and Dio hit it right on the head. Like, we're pretty. The one special thing about Wisconsin and Wisconsin guys, based on just all the other buddies I know that have played football at different schools, I've never seen like them. I've never seen other players maintain their relationships as long as they have after college. I've never seen that before, especially when you speak within this group. This is 10 guys that all played together, and we all play together, and we're all still connected. We all talk on the daily. Doesn't really happen in too many other settings. So I think it's pretty. That's one thing that is very unique about this group. But literally, the only reason why we had a little party down at Melvin's house, and I just happened to be there. Obviously I know the guys, so everything was that was fine. But they said, hey, we're golfing tomorrow morning, and this was, I don't know, maybe like a year in or so, after they've been about a year into Vibez already. And I was like, hey, I'll golf with you guys, I guess. I always keep my clubs in the car in the trunk, and woke up the next morning a little hungover, but we made it out. I remember I had jean shorts on and some Yeezys, and I didn't even have a clean T-shirt. I'm like, I was supposed to just drive back up to LA. We in Orange County. I was like, whatever, I'll just be stinky, whatever. And I grabbed one of Melvin's T-shirts, and he's like, you're gonna come golf with us. And I was like, all right. So I went out there, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I probably played like one of the best. I put it together that day. I mean, Tanner, you were there. I was bombing there. It was ridiculous. Like I couldn't miss.
Like in the jean shorts?
Yeah, in jeans. Yeah, in jean shorts. Now, granted, I was in jorts. Yeah, and played really well. Had a great time with the fellas, and then shortly thereafter that, Melvin and Noah and a few other guys. I guess you guys probably voted on it or had a discussion about it. Like, hey, we should bring Feast in to tie it off, and that's kind of how I got involved. So I was a year late, but no, I definitely feel like I'm definitely a part of the crew, and it's been good, man. It's been really good. It's been great, to be honest with you. We're working on a lot of different things, so I'm excited.
I just imagine that being some sort of like secret society kind of like ceremony when they decide to bring in Feaster as the 10th one. It's like they've got all the rest of the 9 of them are in robes, and you're like blindfolded, taking in your jorts somewhere in Melvin's ridiculous mansion that he has somewhere, I'm sure in like Calabasas or wherever he lives, and with his $30-something million he's made his career, and like it's in the basement, and there's like wine and all this kind of stuff, and like there's stuff going on in Latin. And all of a sudden, like they say Feaster, and like everyone goes, oh, and like a golf club is given to you, and you're one.
Not at all. It was more so I woke up hungover on the couch, like, yo, like I'm about to leave. Hey, you should golf with us. All right, cool. I'll see you over there. That was really it.
That's literally how it happened.
Yeah. So.
Hey, and honestly, it's been a perfect fit, like for us. He brings that charisma, that energy that we need, to our group. And I think it's been the best thing yet.
Yeah. A lot of good things coming.
We're really excited.
I'm excited, man. We got a lot of good guys.
Yeah, I think it's so exciting, like we've been talking about. Attention athletes. Are you ready to take control of your financial future and score big off the field? Oakbridge Wealth Management, led by wealth manager Chris Anicetti, is your all-star team of financial experts, specifically catering to professional athletes like you. We tackle your unique financial challenges head-on, so you can focus on what you do best. Our comprehensive and adaptive approach sets us apart. Starting with our strategic partners, we create a seamless, frictionless experience tailored to your financial journey. Our services evolve alongside your career, from cash flow management and major purchases to estate planning and long-term investments. Don't wait until the fourth quarter. Secure your financial legacy now and reap the benefits of our expertise through your career and beyond. With Oakbridge, you'll gain peace of mind, financial freedom, and a solid game plan for the future. Top NFL players like Chase Roulier, Alec Ingold, Tyler Biotish, and more have already joined our winning team, and now it's your turn. Here's what former Badgers All-American and Dallas Cowboys center Tyler Biotish has to say. From the beginning, Chris guided me in setting financial goals and provided me with the necessary tools. He's been a constant support, like a brother, throughout my life. His guidance played a crucial role in my NFL journey. It's time to elevate your financial game plan. Connect with Chris on Instagram at OakbridgeWM_Anicetti. That's OakbridgeWM_ANICETE. And join the winning team. We don't have a ton of time left here today, but we got to talk Badgers. I mean, you guys talked about how special that brotherhood and that bond is that you formed. The fact that you guys are together 10 years later, talking on the daily. I'm impressed because I don't even know if I have 10 people I talk to on the monthly, much less on the daily, that I went to college with. So well done. So I want to talk and go back to the locker room and just talk about those dynamics and talk about, actually, I think it was really interesting when we had Dari and Hugs come on to talk, because they came in together, right? They came in, they were freshmen together at the Regent, had some good times. I think everyone's had some good times and some not so good times at the Regent during their time in Wisconsin. I guess D Hill, like what is it like? What's it like coming in for you from Ohio to the Wisconsin locker room? What's that like, and what's it like getting to know some of these guys?
So coming into the locker room, my freshman year, I actually knew a couple of the guys because they were from the Cincinnati area. My guy Pat Muldoon, Jeff Duckworth, Brian Wozniak, and then I committed with one of my really good friends, Jesse Hayes. So I knew a few of the guys, but outside of that, I was pretty new, and I just remember meeting my guy Kenzel, Melvin, all those guys, and just seeing, some of the similarities and the differences. And once we got to, just talking and sparring back and forth, joking on each other, I knew like, okay, these guys are some really good guys. So for me, like seeing how we've grown and matured together and seeing the relationship we have now, I think, that was huge. But going back to the freshman year, I just remember walking into the Regent, walking down one long hall filled with everybody's got their door open, people playing video games and whatnot, and seeing some guys from Florida come out and hearing how they talk. I'll say this, guys from South Florida, they've got another language, and like just learning how to adapt and know what they're saying. That was a huge thing for me.
What was the strangest piece of slang that you
I
picked
couldn't
up
be any
from them?
closer to those guys.
What was the strangest piece of slang that you picked up from them?
Like I'll say there were two. Like when I first, so you know how like people say bro. Like my best friend, Devin Calden, he says something, and then like at the end of it, he says "bih," like BIH, and I thought he called me the B word. I'm like, wait, what did you say to me, bro? He was like, no, it's like saying bro. It's our version of saying bro, and I'm like, okay. So I started listening to that. I'm hearing it because three of my roommates were from Florida, so I'd learned all that stuff. But I thought that was one of the craziest things hearing to start. And then I ended up using it. Then I ended up adapting to it. So yeah, it became a part of my vocabulary.
So Feast, what do you remember about first? What do you remember about first moving into the Regent and those good times?
I was fortunate enough to not live in the Regent, in the slums of the Regent. Blessings.
Blessings.
Yeah, I had a different path to the team. I was out of high school. I wasn't very I had no interest in playing. I was going to go to school and just get my degree and just get a normal job, and just have fun at Wisconsin, because I had been to Wisconsin because I was from there, and my sister had went before, so I visited her a couple of times, and I was like, yeah, okay, this is the one. This is where I'm going to be at. So I was on academic scholarship. I didn't care about football, but I got that itch. And then there's a different type of process for walk-ons or whatever, where they pretty much just give you pads and throw you into practice. And then obviously I'm still athletic, and these guys they're good, but it's not that much of a difference. We had a pretty good high school, and so I'm used to playing against good competition. But it was, and I was on the team, and I came in with Monty and I don't know if you remember Shelby Harris and a few of those guys, and it was different. I definitely clicked a lot more with the older guys. So like Nick Toon, Calmer, some of those the older guys that were on the team, they definitely took me under their wing right away. And I really enjoyed it. And I as I progressed and as time went on, I really took a admiration to some of the guys that were just the walk-ons in general, the developmental guys, and I kind of just tried to be a leader in that aspect. Didn't play much at all. I think that a lot of that had to do with a lot of the politics of how it goes. I'm not going to get into that now, but it's I took it for what it was, and I still enjoy my Wisconsin experience more than most. And I stayed injury free. I don't have crazy amount of concussions or anything like that. I'm good. At the end of the day,
Bless.
look, if it's me and some of these other guys that used to play walking down the street, they come up to me and be like, "Dang, what position did you play?" So I'm staying in shape. I'm good, man. I'm cool, but. I cherish every moment of it, and obviously I get to meet these guys, and I have a different relationship and friendship with each one of these guys, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, man, that's pretty much my story.
Dude, there's nothing more ruthless than what is it, September 3rd, when the walk-ons show up and they're like, "Here's a helmet, here's shoulder pads, here are some cleats." Like, you're in practice. You've never done anything, and you're expected to compete at a high level. I thought that was the worst. It just seemed so just dirty. I don't know.
Yeah,
dudes are sharing lockers, the whole nine. And I just remember being like, man, there's 30 dudes in here, and they're gonna leave by tomorrow because this is such a shitty. Matt Perkins, bleep that out. Such a shitty experience.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, they just kind of just feed you the rules. Go have fun. It's okay.
You get assimilated into the culture
immediately. Yeah.
And I didn't realize that until honestly, the end of training camp, when some of the older guys said, "Yeah, now we're gonna have a bunch of walk-ons, come here." I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
Camp is over.
Nah, camp ain't over. It's time for time for the walk-ons to show with it. Some of them some of these guys, obviously, Wisconsin's known for having successful walk-ons. So, there's some dogs out there for sure. So don't think your spot is secure if you're on scholarship, because there's a walk-on out there that's coming for it. So, but yeah, no, like I said, I in high school and even in college, I played against John Clay and a lot of those bigger running backs and stuff like that. So I knew what the work.
And you're injury free.
I knew what. Yeah,
big play.
Yeah, a lot of actually the first time I ever got ran over in my entire life was John Clay in college. I'll never forget that. My back hit the ground first. But yeah, no, man. So I was used to that level of competition and what I was getting into. So it wasn't anything too crazy. But yeah, that walk-ons, it's a different. You can do a whole another podcast about the walk-on life, but.
Yes, and the redshirt year, scout team. We could do a podcast on that. Yeah. Tanner, you have a different experience.
Yeah,
tell us about that.
So out of high school, I went to South Carolina. So I went to a big SEC school, and the two teams were a little different from what I was used to. So then I went to JUCO, which was also extremely different than Wisconsin. And then I went to Wisconsin. So I showed up my third year as a redshirt sophomore. And these guys were there were already kind of cliques kind of established kind of thing. And I guess you can say I was probably a little more of a knucklehead compared to a lot of the rest of the other guys. I enjoyed college too. I was just... playing football, but I was also enjoying myself. And I think at Wisconsin, there wasn't a lot of dudes like me, there wasn't a lot of dudes that could kind of go out and enjoy their night and still wake up at 6 a.m. and get their job done. So,
no. No. I couldn't do that either, Tanner. Congratulations. You're a unicorn, brother. I could not do that.
Yes.
So that was kind of my thing, and like I said, the guys were kind of already established in their little cliques and stuff, and the teams that I were on were pretty straight and narrow. A lot of the older guys were kind of maintaining that kind of mindset. And I was a little bit different, so I was looked at a little differently. And I think when the guys finally started to get to know me and realize that I was still out there working hard and competing and showing up and not really missing anything and doing everything I was supposed to. Football-wise, then I just kind of started to find my little niche into these groups, and then I obviously I lived with D Hill my senior year, but the years prior to that, I didn't even live with anyone on the football team. I was living with guys. I lived with Noe one year, and I lived with another ex-Badger football player, but he wasn't playing at the time, so I was kind of more outside of the football circle, and then. As the seasons went on and my years at Wisconsin went on, I started to get more and more, it integrated into our groups. on the Badger football team.
I definitely will say that, like, when he first came in, like, he was viewed as like an outsider because there wasn't anybody like him. Just like he said, to his point, there weren't too many guys that were during the week could, hang out socially and whatnot, be out a little late and then still come in and get that work in. There weren't too many guys like that. But again, once we saw, the amount of work that he was putting in, him being on his job, him doing his thing, that's when I think a lot of guys gravitated toward him. And once they start to, get to know him as a person even more, I think people gravitated to that.
People like, yeah, you know what?
There's
I can
also
go
the
out
weird
too.
Yeah, I can hang out a little bit.
Exactly.
There was a little
I
weird
can hang out a
dynamic.
little bit.
I like came in with the new coaching staff, and I was like a quarterback, and I was like a highly recruited JUCO quarterback kind of like tag. So like me showing up for fall camp, it's like, dude, these guys have been here for years. Like they've been waiting for their spot to climb up the ladder, and then like a JUCO kid shows up with a new coaching staff, and he's going to take someone's job, and it's like people get a little touchy feel about that. And I mean, I don't blame them at all. It's just human nature.
Be on your job.
I think that was also a little bit of like some of the reasons,
Listen, Tanner, I can't say if I'm lucky or I missing time with you at Wisconsin. I don't know what we would have done. It would have been bad news. I had a lot of friends.
At my side.
Tanner, you would have been welcomed with open arms into my group of friends. We were all completely bananas, pretty much all the times that we could be, except for like Mondays and Thursdays, because you had to work out early the next day. Tuesday nights, literally were the most fun nights I've ever had. I never went to a class on a Wednesday. Almost cost me a degree.
I think Tuesday night was like the heads or tails at Brats for like
that was Brats. It was bacon night at Wando's.
Yeah.
I don't remember ever paying $1 at college club, so every day was like buy one get 100 for free there. It was different times. Also, you guys got to remember there was no social media. So like nobody knew the bad things or the good things you were doing.
Or the good things. So we were
I'm just saying there were some good things. This has been gone by very quickly. We're almost at like an hour and 20 minutes. I'll wrap it up as fast as possible, but tell us your favorite, like either Badger experience or Camp Randall experience. And Darius, Feast, I'll start with you.
I think the one thing I'll always remember was when we played Ohio State 2010 or whatever. They were number one, and they came to Camp Randall. And I'll never forget the opening kickoff when Gilreath returned that. Man, that was crazy to me. I was like, man, this school is it. And and we went on to win, and it was like, I'm not gonna lie to you, it took me probably 20 minutes to get to my locker. Like it was like there was just so many people on the field, and everything was crazy. And I'll never forget that. That was the happiest. I think when Gilreath made that return, that was like the happiest moment of my college career. It was crazy. I was like, man, this school is lit. And that night, I don't even remember what happened that night, but that night it had to be good. It had to be great. So.
It had to be great.
Dio?
Shoot, man, there were a lot of good ones. One that like really sticks out to me was probably my junior year. We were playing Nebraska at home. Huh?
You took mine, man. I gotta come up with something different.
Oh man, dang, my bad.
We can be the same.
But it's at the end of the season. It's cold. I remember we came out, and I think like at the end of the first quarter, I mean we weren't doing very well, but I think it wasn't it like 14 or 17-0, and then I just remember at one point things started clicking for us, and we ended up going on a run, and we ended up killing Nebraska. But that was the same game that Melvin had broken the single rushing record in a game. And I just remember after the third quarter, the jump around comes around, it starts snowing and whatnot. Like it was like, I don't know, like it like the moment you had to be there to feel it, like the energy from the guys, everybody jumping around. And then at the end of the game, people making snow angels on the field. Like it was just a super memorable moment for us because we were all celebrating together. And I think, at that point, minus the first quarter, we started, really clicking and playing, some really good football. So for me, I thought that was something I'll never forget outside of the jump around. I mean, that's always going to be crazy in Camp Randall.
Yeah. Well, he took mine. So it's like that. What was special about that Nebraska game also is like there was a big debate on who was like the best running back in the Big Ten, like who was going to get the title that year. And like D Hill said, like we had like a bit of a slow start, and like weirdly, like when I was at Wisconsin for my years, like we didn't have a lot of night games. So that like specific night game, it started to snow like when we really started pouring it on these guys. And it was also like we were kind of like, all right, like Melvin's like this is like really like Melvin getting his shine right now that he deserves because he's one breaking the rushing record, two showing that he's the best running back in the Big Ten for sure, if not the country. And I think I scored that game too. So like it was in like the third quarter, and I know I got a picture of like one of the O linemen like holding me up with like the snow coming down. And like when that snow started falling and like the jump around hit, like it was all like almost perfect timing, like movie-ish. And it had to be for sure the best, most memorable game for me.
I'll say outside of that real quick too, just having a chance to go to the Rose Bowls, that week that you're out there, all the events and stuff that you do, the way the people working, they're treating you, like it was a fun and very memorable experience. So outside of that, like I really thought the Rose Bowls were done pretty well.
Listen, for the first Rose Bowl in, was it 2010, 2011? I was outside wasted, having a blast. I'm like, we're going to win. TCU got no chance. Who's this dude? Dalton, never heard of him. Like, no chance. And I literally had the best time of my life. And then, I mean, obviously it didn't go well for us. And then, dude, Badger fans, man, are so, like, they live and die
with care.
The game. Like, dude, so the second the game ended and we did not win, everyone was like, we're going home. And I'm like, no. We have like 500 beers to drink. Like, come on. And they're like, no. And the experience before is like, we're going to drink 500 beers. We're going to go crazy. Yeah. We're going to tear down Los Angeles. And then we lost and everyone's like, I'm going back to the hotel. And I'm always, listen, I'm sad too, but I'm like kind of up for like a good time. I didn't come to LA to like just go home. Well, I went home. So it was I took a 30-pack in the bus, and then I drank one beer, and then I just went home. I went to sleep.
It was one of those nights. You just sat there and drank by yourself.
Crazy. Dude, going crazy.
No, on the bus. We went to Costco. It's a longer story, but we went to Costco to basically like, you have to buy beer and food. So we had like 500 beers at this pregame, which was way too many beers for a couple hours.
Man.
And then we had so much left over. I'm like, I'm taking it home.
Yeah.
Didn't work out. But I had a great time. And they sold beer in the stadium, which I kept drinking in the stadium, which is neither here nor there. I sat in front of Wendell Bryant, who kept telling me to stop cheering so loud. I was like, Wendell, you're Badger too, dude. Neither here. It was a weird experience. But it was great. It was great. Guys, this was really a pleasure. I know we could chop it up for another 2 hours, which would make us have an 18 round. So hopefully one day we are playing on the golf course. But really appreciate what you guys are trying to accomplish with Vibez. It's the Badger Brotherhood. Like, I've been a fan. It's just fun, to chop it up with you guys for almost an hour and a half. I don't know, man. It just keeps me young for some of you young thinking you guys are old guys. Feast one day, dude, you'll be 40. I promise.
I know. Trust me. I ain't got no hair left. You see his hat's gonna stay right here.
Put it back on. Whoa.
Nah, man, it's all good.
I can't.
Could be worse. You could have all these grays in these random spots.
Don't have that. Don't have that. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, you guys are good-looking young people, man. Let me tell you. One day you'll have back surgery, and then you'll play golf, and that's all you can play. And that's
back surgery. Oh no.
Yeah, I was about to say, hey, don't wish that evil on us.
No, I don't wish it. I don't wish it. 30. I was 31. How bad is that?
Ooh.
Yeah, I called Barry to pay for it. He said no. I'm just kidding. I definitely didn't do that. I should have, though, but I definitely
should have, man. Use your NIL money. Oh, wait. That's right. You didn't give me that.
Oh, wait. No.
Dude, don't.
Different topic for a different day.
We could talk about that in the transfer portal for days upon days.
We absolutely could. Right. And obviously, you know, we barely got to talk any Badger stuff here, so I think we just might have to have each of these guys back on individually at some point to really get into it, because we talked a little bit, but I have a lot of questions that I didn't get to ask for real, to get into the real nitty-gritty. I want some of the good stories, you know, that you're not going to hear anywhere else. We'll just have to have all these guys back. Plus, I mean, I didn't even get to ask Tanner about being like the best at like 6 different positions on the Badgers at once. That was a fun time to watch as well. So, but we will get hopefully back.
That man was a hybrid.
I mean, he was, you know, he was. I don't even know what I'm looking for, like the combination like Bo Jackson and who knows what else. He could do it all: offense, defense, special teams. Why not? Why not? Yeah.
Wow. Hey, that was my number 5, bro, right there.
So yes. Oh yeah, I forgot you guys had opposite numbers. So okay.
Yeah, and then I made him switch. There was only one number 5, only one.
I had to play both ways, so I had to change my number.
It might have been that too. Hey, the whole secondary looked nice though. 3, 5, 8, 7. Yeah, like solid
numbers. Yeah,
solid.
Okay, we're gonna have to get this crew back either together or individually, because I'm having way too much fun. But it's 11 o'clock here on the East Coast, and I gotta go to sleep, guys. When you're 40, you hit a threshold, and it's time, man. It's time.
It's time.
I got a 2-year-old who's gonna wake up probably at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh man.
Well,
she doesn't care what I've done the night before. She just wants to wake up and party. And Tanner, I feel like you're the only one who can do that. Dude, I can't do it anymore, man.
Oh man.
Well,
we appreciate you guys for having us on, man.
No, really, this is our pleasure. Thank you. This is really great.
For sure. Well,
we got to do this again.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well,
we'll give you an inside scoop next time.
Dude, first 3 beers are on me at any establishment in Madison that you.
Sorry, I'm gonna take you up on that. That ain't.
With that too.
Right.
Run
then the next 30 are on you guys. Just gonna let you know.
We'll compete for those. How about that? We'll get you guys.
We'll compete. We'll figure it out.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
I want to thank everyone for tuning in here tonight to the Believe in Badgers podcast on the Believe Podcast Network, presented by betonline.ag. You can check out all the social media from these guys. I'll be linking to all their social medias here in the show notes. Make sure you're checking out at Vibez Golf Club on Instagram as well, for all the good stuff from Vibez. And until next time, on Wisconsin.
On Wisconsin.
On Wisconsin.
On Wisconsin.
All right, now.